Welcome to another episode of SKS Media, and today we're again at Suffolk with Spriha, who is an undergrad in Suffolk University. So, thank you for making it.
Of course.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited to be here. Can you tell?
All right, so for the people that's watching and they don't know you, quick 60-second elevator pitch.
Okay. My name's Spriha. I'm a current undergraduate about to go into my senior year, so I'm a current senior, and I'm currently also pursuing my degree in computer science. And I am from the Boston area, and I've been going here since the last year, so this is my second year.
And when did you come to America?
I came here about 3 years ago.
So that's like what, 2022?
2021's December, so 2022.
Okay.
2022.
So you're excited?
Yeah, it's like...
So before we even talk about America, life in America, all that stuff, let's talk about Nepali. So where'd you grow up? Like, how was it like growing up there? Just a quick background, not too much in detail, but a quick glimpse.
Quick glimpse would be, I didn't really grow up in Nepal during my childhood. So
oh, really?
I grew up in Marshall Islands. So I was there for a little while. I did my kindergarten in like first grade there. And then I did second grade in California. Randomly.
US, okay.
Yeah, in US. I basically finished up second grade, and then I came back to Nepal, Kathmandu, and then I did my second grade and moved back to Chitwan. And Chitwan, but I started my third grade to high school, so I finished up all my academics in Chitwan. So I've had like most of my life in Chitwan itself. That's
pretty cool. Let's talk about Marshall Islands and Gali and what's going on here? This is like really cool.
Out of the blue. Yeah, I was born in Nepal for sure. And due to my dad's occupation, my dad would just travel a lot. And then, we were in this little island out of the blue. And I was with my parents, and I was very young. So, easy travel baby.
Yeah.
And I was there, and then I was there for school. And it was such a small island. So they had like a bunch of like volunteer teachers all the way from Germany. So I had German teachers, and they were like teaching me, and then I was like kindergarten, grade 1, and then we moved back to Nepal, I believe. And
what
then
about the language?
It was Marshallese. So they spoke Marshallese, local language, native language, and
what about you?
My first language was Armenian growing up for sure, because my mom would teach me Armenian. And then my second language was Nepali. But the Nepali itself, like, I wouldn't know how to read and write.
Right.
So in Marshall Islands, we mostly spoke like English.
Right.
Like English in school, and then Karma, Nepali, Armenian, like just a mixture of languages all together.
So I know this, but I know a lot of people watching don't. You're half Nepali, and you half Armenian. Yeah.
I know, it's so exciting.
Cool.
My mom's Armenian. And I'm half Nepali from my dad's side.
So Boyo, and then from there you went to Cali.
We just thought we needed a little change, so we just like go all the way to California. We were like, let's test the waters, let's see how the city feels, Yeah. And they were like, you know what, let's go back home.
Okay.
So we just were there for a quick bit. We didn't stay for long, and then we were like, let's go back to Nepal and like finish up everything else. And my dad's job was in Nepal again, so we just like moved accordingly, really.
So then you finish high school, Chitwan Mai. Now the question is, how did you, or what made you decide you want to come back to US? Like, what were you thinking when you were about to graduate?
Like in Nepal?
Yeah, like when you graduated before coming to US.
I think life happens like very like in shifting like lefts and rights. So I would say like when I graduated high school, I wanted to go into med school like really bad.
Okay, wait,
I want to be a doctor so bad. I was like, I'm going to go into med school. I'm going to do 5 years of MBBS. I'm going to graduate. Like, I'm going to have this, like, I grew up in medical family. So I've always been interested in health and, like, getting into medicine and everything. And I've just, like, seen that environment growing up that I always thought, like, that would be my piece of cake. And then when I tried to get into med school, I didn't get in the first year. And I was like, okay, like everyone takes a year gap. Like people be taking 11-year gaps for this. Like 1 year is no big deal, So I was like, sweet, like let me take a year gap. And then COVID hit. So I was like, oh, life doesn't really go according to plan, does it now? And this was I was like, let me just let me just see where life takes me. So I did everything. I actually did so much. I gave.
So what you studied in high school before that?
What do you mean? I did biology, so I did pure bio because, like, I went to do medicine, so I did pure bio, no math. I only did math in grade 11, so I only did like pure bio. I knew where I wanted to go. Didn't work out, and then later, when I was taking that gap year to re-give my exams, COVID just made it like 2 years, so I had a 2-year gap, and I was already like, oh no, like what am I gonna do with life? Like this is so stressful. But when I was also like, I gave my exams, I did like a bunch of things. I tried like to give forestry exams because I've always had like a passion for like animals. And, like I was like, maybe I should like start working in national parks. Like, and then I tried like that. I also tried to get into veterinary medicine. I tried to get into interior design. I thought I was creative. So I did everything I could. I tried to get into also the technological field. So I tried to do IT back home as well. But everything just looked so like weird. Like it just didn't feel structured. Nothing felt structured. Like, Suffolk was like very like, I don't know, just the situation of the country itself. Just like more when I was getting into these programs, or when I was like trying to get into these programs, it just felt like it wasn't a path for me, or I didn't see myself there. So I just felt like I had to do something else. So I was like, I've tried everything. It's not working out. It's feeling weird. Like I don't know what I want to do. Like, but I know I love medicine. So I was like, you know what? Let me just like try computer science, and like possibly like the technological world is like so vast, like I could just go anywhere with that degree. And computer science was like one of the most popular majors, and as a woman I was like,
especially COVID when
COVID in particular was like IT. But then I was like, maybe I can like actually do something with it. Like I should just test the waters, get my feet wet, maybe I'll know how to code. On this, but see, I was like, I'll try it. So I applied and I got accepted, and then I was like, I'm gonna do computer science.
Wait, hold on, that's too fast.
I was like, this is what I want to try.
What about the application process with Journey?
So
now at this point, you're passionate about medicine.
Yeah, I know. I was passionate
because COVID happened and because IT is such a big thing. You were like, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, so I was like, maybe I'll give it a shot. Like, why not? And then I was like doing my research, and then my like relatives, like most of them, were in New Hampshire itself. So I was like, I'll just try to apply to a school there, and I applied to UNH, University of New Hampshire. I got in, and I didn't really think twice. I didn't think twice about what schools I should apply to more. I didn't think twice about my research. I didn't think twice about anything. I was like, school, accepted, nothing else that I had to think about. Because I was like, location was a big priority, because I was like, I can't just be alone in a country all by myself. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then
before you applied to UNH, like what else did you do before applying? Because SATs,
I didn't have to do SATs. I didn't have to do my SATs. I didn't have to do anything, but I did give my IELTS exam, because that was a requirement, like an English proficiency test. So I did IELTS. So I did that. Like I prepared for it, and I thought I'd be a smarty pant and like I'd do great. But I accidentally it's pretty hard. Like, it's like the reading. I don't know why. I was really bad at reading. I was like, wait a second. I thought this was my skills. Like, what is happening? But nonetheless, I did do English proficiency test, and like I just got through with it, got a nice score. And I was like, fits the category, let's go, Yeah, is there something else?
What made you decide that you wanted to come to America, Haiti, instead of maybe going to Australia or some other place? That's a tough question.
I think that is a really good question, because abroad, like there's so many countries out in the world. Why choose US, I actually also tried for Australia. I tried for the nursing program, and I got in. But I had to do like a 6-month foundation course before I got into the original program itself. So instead of going to Australia, I just personally decided to use that 6 months time to prepare to get into med school in Nepal instead. So I left that opportunity like dengue. I was like, bye, like I'll just try this instead. So I didn't choose anything else. And I thought, US being one of the best countries in the world for their like, just like opportunity based, I thought like it would fit better with like life and I don't know, just like the future and stuff.
Wow. So, all right. So at this point you're in UNH.
Yeah.
I know. And I don't know how relatable this question would be, just because you've already been in Cali. But what was your first impressions? Because I know
when I first
Yeah, I
got
remember that. It was like you're in grade 2.
Yeah, I'm like
But
a
then you
baby.
grew up in Nepal, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So biggest culture shocks, differences, stuff like that.
I mean, there were so many, right? Like, I was a child, I barely remember any, but one thing that I remember was I noticed a lot of independency in such a young age. Like, you know, like second graders, like just going to a cafeteria and getting food by themselves was kind of shocking to me. I was like, oh, like, so this is what we do? You don't bring a little lunchbox? Like, what's happening? Like, there's a cafeteria? In second grade, I think that was like, just like weird as a young person to see that. And something else was like making friends was really hard because like I don't know. Even
USMA once you
second grade, yeah.
Second grade.
Second grade. Like that was my first impression of the United States in general. I don't know. Like people were just so like closed off. They were like such like they were in their own little bubbles. Like I was too shy to pop bubbles at this point. And it was just hard to like connect and make friends. And it was even hard to like make conversations with like your teacher, like when you're young. All I remember was how different it was, you know, just like the surrounding, the setting, the environment, the way that they would teach classes like in second grade. Like you would expect second grades like second grade, you know, it's just like a bunch of plus and minuses, but like it felt like a really big deal if I like, oh my God, like plus and minuses, you know, like in
second
this
grade. Okay, I guess like you're very young at this point, right? So you can't tell.
Yeah.
What about UNH Mauni Balama?
So I didn't really go into UNH. I got accepted, right? When I came to New Hampshire, that was my like adult culture shock experience. I would say like America first time on that like in an adult mindset. I got into UNH, but I never went there because I was just like, wow, maybe I can just go to a community college instead and do 2 years and transfer out.
So wait, hold on. So you got into UNH,
right? But I never ended up going there.
But you still went to New Hampshire,
yes,
because your cousins are there.
No, so, yeah, like family.
Yeah, family's there. And wait, I'm so confused.
No. So like got into UNH, right? Never went there. Noticed that on a 5-minute drive away was a community college that I could just go and get my 2-year associate degree in. So I was like, wait, like this could actually be good, you know, for me. Cheaper, closer, like I don't know, like this could work out. So I chose to go to NHTI, which is a community college in New Hampshire, one of the biggest ones. And I was like, I'll just do it there. So
and then you got in.
Yeah, I got in, I got accepted, and I did their information technology and software development program with a certification in mindful communication.
Wow. So before we start talking about school life, let's dig in a little bit deeper your cultural differences or my
right,
because again you grew up Nepal pretty much most of your life. So your life, the life that you started seeing once you came here 3 years ago, what were the biggest differences you saw?
I think the biggest differences I saw were the calm and chaos, you know, just like, you know, like how like I think Nepal always felt calm to me. It felt peaceful.
Banali.
Like just like, you know, like work life was, like school life was, like family relationship life was, everything felt like less stressful. It felt like you can put some thought into it and you didn't have to stress too much about things. Whereas like when I stepped foot here, everything felt like I would have to overthink it like 5 times before I did anything. Like it felt like busy streets, busy lives, you know, busy street, busy lives. Like Nepal, like you can go to like a kirana store and just like chit chat, you know, you can go there and like sit down and drink coffee. Like we can have like actually like a conversation. But here, every conversation I have in America feels like it has a underlying purpose, which is a great thing. But I think there's
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, you know, when you have these like conversations in America, like with anyone at all, I just feel like there's like purpose. There's like a random, like, you know, like you have conversations to like talk to people about like certain things, but like in Nepal it's more peaceful, like conversations flow easily. It's just so easy going, like as a country. Like it made me not stress about a lot of things. It made me have like, I don't know, Berozgari was hit different, you know. Berozgari was like peaceful back then, and now Rozgar is not that best. So I just feel like the transition of being so idle in your life and having that peaceful calmness to somewhere, an environment that you lived in, when you come to a country like this, you realize like how chaotic it is, how like busy streets, busy lives is a real thing. And how like when you walk down the streets, like it's just like 10 people having 10 different things in their heads. That was my biggest culture shock, I would say. And just, I mean, culture in general, like the word culture, like, yeah, it's like very diverse here, you know, like you're meeting people from all around the world. A lot of people didn't really know where Nepal was.
Oh my, that is true.
So that was like
we talk about it.
I mean, when I first got here, and people would be like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Nepal." They're like, "So you live in Mount Everest?" I'm like, "Damn, how did you know?" I'd be walking that mountain every day. Like, so you live in Mount Everest? I'm like, wow, because like I grew up, was in New Hampshire then, so they're like, you live in Mount Everest. I'm like, no, I don't really live in Mount Everest. They're like, no, but like you open your windows, you see Mount Everest, see the mountain, you can like see Mount. I'm like, nah, like I can't do that either. They're like, and then there was this one time I would like get really excited when I saw snow. Like it was like my first time seeing snow. They'd be like, why are you getting all excited? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, don't you live in the mountains? You see the shit all the day. God, and I'm like, guys, like, come on now. Like, so it's really hard to like understand that some people, like, people don't know everything in the world. Like the world is so vast. You're not going to know every single thing in the world.
Right.
It's okay to be educational and learn that not everyone knows where Nepal is. And then that's okay. That's okay. And I think that was a big culture shock, just like claiming your identity so strongly. Like, I am from Nepal. Mount Everest is Nepali. Here, but like, it's not just there. So like, to just like knowing like that not everyone knows everything was a big thing too. I would say like made a like a culture shock.
What about food?
Food. So I grew up with an Armenian mom, of course, and dal bhat power 24-hour was not my cup of tea.
Oh, it wasn't your cup of tea?
It was like, I love like bhat dal tarkari, but like I could live without it. Like, if in a week like everyone eats it every day, but I see like I can like skip it all the time. Like I would eat like more like bread and stuff. Like bread was a big part of like growing up. I was more of like a breakfast person than a lunch person. Like, so when I came here, food didn't surprise me at all. Like I always had a habit of eating like everything and anything, so it wasn't hard to get accumulated to like the flavors or like the cuisines. But I think one thing that was like really like wow was like processed food. Like it's just everywhere,
so
like
true.
It's just everywhere. Like it's just so easily accessible. Like why is like
portion sizes
like wow. Huge. Like so people like have to take takeouts back home. Like what do you mean you can't finish your food? Like what do you mean you're gonna just leave it there? So I think that like I still struggle with that concept. Like when people are like, I'm done, and I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna take it home? You could just finish it. And I'm like, wait, but you can't finish that. Like that's like huge. So I think like also like currency wise, like how much a portion costs, like those things were also a big thing. Like why does like a plate of food like cost like itni dere, and when like Nepal, it's like what, $4, $5, and I think that was like a big culture shock to me. So food, environment, like New Hampshire is 4 seasons, so I saw snow, autumn, spring and summer. Like Nepal, all I saw was monsoon and like summer in Chitwan. So like I think that was
that is true. That
so
is
I was
true.
like, wow, like there's snow, there's fall is real. Okay, so like maple, like that leaf emoji that you see on your phone is real. Right. You can actually see it. So it was just like a I think a good transitional process, but definitely like with little like things you learn every day, like when you come to a country like that.
Damn. Okay, this next question, food ke bare mein, before we move on, defines if we're going forward with this podcast.
Damn.
What about momo?
Oh my, I love momos. Like, I'm just so glad that America has like such a good population of Nepali people that there's gonna be a restaurant down the street sometimes and you can just go get momos, Like, I'm so grateful that like I have like relatives that like know how to make momo. I know like how to like make momo. So like momo's amazing. Like I think momo's great. No questions asked. Like momo, I'm all up for momo.
Okay, but anyway, so that was the culture shocks, right? So moving on to school, about you applied to the community college you got in.
Right.
So let's start from there. What's your story from there?
I mean, I got in and then I applied for jobs, of course, like as an international. I can't be Beroskar again, like I was in Nepal. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply for jobs. And
but what do you mean?
Like, just like
I like on campus?
Yeah, on campus, like as per usual. And then when I was applying to jobs, I got into the admissions team. So I was working with them as a student ambassador. So I would just give tours off campus. and I basically worked there for like about 2 years. I also like applied
Since freshman?
Yeah, like since like I got like there like August. I think I got the job in August, like 2023, 2022. 2023. I don't recall. I worked there for a good chunk, like 1.5 year-ish. And then it was a great experience. I was doing school academically. It was definitely like challenging because here it's like more like grades are like.
So academic in terms of academics,
yeah.
What did you major in?
I majored in information technology and software development. I tried to pick up a dual major in business admin, but I was like, not for me. And I did a certification of mindful communication. So it was all tied in.
So schooling, Kuma, right? I mean, I have a question about jobs as well, but we can probably touch on it in a bit. There are schooling, Kuma. What are like the biggest differences you saw when you went to school in Nepal compared to here?
Yeah, I mean, like biggest differences, right? Because like
yeah, what were the biggest differences?
Like Nepal, it's more like you have to like, it's so like heavily like theory based, and it's not practical. Like practicality based, so like you're just like rotting a book, like put it like put it book, like you gotta put that shit in your brain before that final 2 minutes, and it really like you gotta finish a whole book before a day so you can pass your finals. But here it's more like it's more different. Like it's all like how heavy your grade carries in like certain portions of the class. Like I think it was more easy going here that you didn't have to like finish up a whole book. You just have to remember like very important things, and it's like defined on basis of that. But I don't know, like it was just like academically like very different because like the way they teach, the way assignments are graded, the way assignments are even like even given, like when assignments are not like paper my essay right? It's not like essay it's like more like do a presentation, work in a team. Like you learn like skills as you go in assignments here, but in Nepal it's just like get your homework done, like get that homework done. So like I don't know, it's
make
just,
sure
like,
you memorize the whole book.
Yeah, memorize your whole book. Like if that's it, like it's like.
So let's say you're teaching let's expand a little bit on
how
the teaching part. Yeah,
I think the teaching part was more like in Nepal. It's more like I feel like whenever I saw professors like teach me Nepal, it felt like they had like a to-do list and they had to like cross things off their checklist when they came into the class to like finish up something. But otherwise here, when you see teachers like teach, they genuinely look like they're passionate about the subject they're teaching, if that makes sense. So like they're coming into a classroom, they're teaching something because they genuinely are like so passionate about like making people aware of this topic, or like talking, like they have so much curiosity that they learn so much and they're trying to give out these knowledges. But in Nepal, it felt like they're so tired of doing this like task, it felt like a task with the professors. It's not like they didn't teach well or anything. They taught their best. It was just like the energy,
the system itself.
The energy they brought into a classroom, or the system itself, how strict it was on certain things, whereas how lenient it was on other things. I don't know, like how homework was always strict, homework was always like homework. But yeah, it's like more like class participation. Like what's your like overall, like how do you present class? Like a lot of other things. Like, you learn life skills, I would say, like in school or in college, as per I say. Like college where you learn more life skills, but like agadi I feel like I learned more like theory based kuraharu, so academically definitely different.
What about like the support system too with professors and everything? Because I think that's definitely, I don't know if it's very different, but it's a little different.
I would say, I don't know, support system.
Office hours and all that stuff.
Yeah, like support system in Nepal was basically like them saying, how you been? Like that was big. Like if a professor comes up to you and says, like, is your mental health okay? That's what it meant, whereas here, like it's like you gotta go and get your stuff done. Like professors aren't gonna check on you. Like they're only gonna check on you if they're like seeing you fall behind. But like you gotta make that effort to go and check in with them with their office hours. Whereas in Nepal, the support system was more like they always had to like go to you and they always had to check on you. Like students really didn't care about that support system. They didn't really seek the support in first hand. They expected it more, And even in America, I know many high schools, students don't really have to run up to professors. They come up to them, It's just like that transition of like high school to college. I think that's what I'd say. Like Nepal Mapan Teste, I mean, I never went to like a bachelor's degree in Nepal, so I don't know what that would look like, but it could be different. But high school is definitely more like you seek support, you don't just get support unless like...
And the curriculum because you know how you said the teaching is different, the assignment where it's not just rotamar, but it's more you have like team projects, you're doing this and that. Like, let's talk a little bit more about that.
I would say, yeah, it's definitely more teamwork, like group assignments, you know, like you actually have to like make efforts to talk to people and like make them like, you got to like arrange like their calendars to make sure you're meeting on this certain time so you can finish a project together. Let's
hear like a story. Think we're stay like a group project goal.
I had a group project. Yeah, I've done so many group projects. Like, so recently I had a global ethics class and I had a team of, I would say like about 4 or 5 people, and they were all from like various different backgrounds and stuff. And the whole project was based upon to like question a very controversial ethical subject. So our group chose euthanasia being the most like controversial subject of all. And we actually, I think that was like one of my best projects that I've recently done, because we actually all like, I think like everyone in a team has very, very different roles in the team. And I felt like my role was very much like keeping it all together and make sure the team is on the same page. So I had to make the efforts to like make a little Zoom meeting so everyone can pitch in, make sure that everyone knows what they want to do in the group, like make sure who wants to like do the presentation, who wants to make sure that there's bullet points listed, who wants to do the research, who wants to talk about what's best and what we're trying to, what's our like main theme, what are we trying to display in this presentation, what's our goal, like what are we trying to like, what are we leaning towards? Are we leaning towards like this being like an ethically like moral thing, or like very like not okay for the society? So I think the whole like teamwork like project in general like came off to be like really good. Like we presented, like I remember like we all like walked up and we were like, wow, like that was good, you know, like we did it, you know, and we all like worked together for it too. And I think like those skills were some skills that I never like learned in Nepal. Like Nepal, like if there was a group project, I'm pretty sure someone would do it. And like somebody you know, tell me like,
were you one of them? Or?
I mean, I could be. You never know. Ask me that. But I mean, right now it's like more like, even if there's people like that exist, or like people that would just be like, nah, I'm not doing it. It's when you actually genuinely want to be a part of something. You actually genuinely want to be a part of a team and like make sure you're like doing your best at it to get a good grade. You know, because grades are like very skill based. Like so I think त्यो कुरामै like depend गर्छ कि like कतिको काम गरिरहेको छ तिम्रो ग्रुपमा पनि, you know, life skills and stuff, you know? So I think definitely it was very different.
What about social life on campus? Because you know how you said grade 2 it was hard to make friends and it was kind of weird. Was it the same way once you came here, or what did that look like?
I think intentions matter a lot, you know, like perspective. Like if I was the same Spriha, like I would be probably someone that was like really nervous still, you know, from second grade Spriha, like she could not make friends, like for the life of God. Like I remember like I think I was shy as a kid. But then I think like when I started growing up, I have always been like an extrovert. So I've always been like open to like making conversations, being the first person in the room that volunteers, you know, just like taking those risks to see where life takes you. So I think having that positive, I don't know, what do you call it? The positive...
optimism?
No, like the positive, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the positive attitude. So if you have positive attitude, you're bringing to a room, like you're definitely going to make an impact, you know, you're definitely going to try to make friends more often. So when it came to like New Hampshire, it's like more like, you know, New Hampshire's like pretty, like it's not that populated, like it's not that diverse, I would say. And I also came in a season that like hit right after COVID. So
it's December, Marco.
Yeah. So like spring semester was very, very like still online, but transitioning. So like it was really hard to make friends, especially like in a major that was so like male dominated still at that point. I would say like I didn't really have any females in my classroom, and it felt different, you know. And all my wardrobe changed into like dark colors. Like I was a pastel person, and then all of a sudden I come to America, like I'm like, wait, New Hampshire's cold. but why am I buying sweaters that aren't like light blue but dark blue? Like, what is happening, you know?
Wait, why?
So
Yeah,
I think
why?
seasonal depression, I don't know, like something, like it's just like something changed, you know, the attitude in me changed. Like I was wearing dark colors more. I was trying to make conversation, but I realized like it was like I had to make that effort to talk to people because people weren't really open-minded either. Like they weren't not open-minded, but they weren't as open and quick to make those conversations like firsthand. So I was like, okay, like this is different. But I think the transition helped because when I walked into fall semester, and it's the most popular year for a lot of students to come in for college year, that's when I met like so many people. Like I was like, oh, so I just came in at the wrong time. Spring semester, not the best semester to come in. But for Nepal, like you're starting in January, you know, or you're starting Boisak, which is April. So it's like that. And I think it was better for me once I transitioned into the fall semester and I met more people and like new faces.
What about Nepali people? Did you meet a lot of Nepali
I didn't meet,
students there
no,
as well? Or?
I just met like, there was this one guy and he was a Bhutanese refugee, I believe. And he was there for a while. So he wasn't really like, he was Nepali, but like he wasn't like really like Nepali.
Born and raised
Nepali, born and raised Nepali for a long time. But yeah, he was here for a very long time. He did high school here and stuff. I remember he was the only Nepali kid I knew that time. So there was only another one Nepali guy.
So this is a question I bet a lot of students, incoming students are gonna have, right? Is, hey, like I'm gonna go to US. What if there's no Nepali students? Same case for me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, how's it gonna be like to make non-Nepali friends for the first time can I even make non-Nepali friends?
Right.
Like, so
you'd be surprised. I have more non-Nepali friends than Nepali friends to begin with. Like I don't have a lot of Nepali friends, and you realize that when you come to a different country, like where you might like clash with, like, you know, like meet Nepali people, but like you will never know unless you make those conversations with non-Nepali people, and you'll see like all that matters is interests or like goals and personalities and similarities. Like it's not about if you're Nepali or not. At the end of the day, like people, like, you know, it's like even if you're from different cultures, you might have the same interests. Like if someone knows how to play chess and I know how to play chess, like maybe I'll like you better than someone that doesn't know how to play chess, even if they're Nepali, you know? It just matters about like what you're looking for in a friend. Like what is like do you want acquaintances? Yes, you're gonna meet a bunch of Nepali acquaintances and Nepali non-Nepali acquaintances. Like, but if you're gonna make friends, like yes, that is gonna be hard, you know. And especially for someone like coming in like as an international student, like all by yourself, yes, you're gonna be making, like you're gonna be the person that's gonna make that effort to like go and talk to new people. Because if you don't do that, yes, it's gonna be tough, you know. Yeah, like sometimes maybe like saying hi isn't like so bad. Like, you will never know what's gonna happen, you know.
So okay, let's talk about, so that was school, that was social life. Let's talk about extracurriculars, because I think Nepal, they've started having a lot of extracurriculars that are, I know they're so big on it.
Right.
Student clubs, you know, dance club. I know my sister's in all these different clubs. I wish I didn't do a single club, college में हुँदाखेरि, but they're very big on it. So were you part of any clubs or just anything that's outside of academics?
I would say when I first came to America, I didn't know the heavy emphasis of clubs or extracurricular activities in general. And then I came into the community college and I was a part of everything. I was like everything. I was like trying to be like, I was like everywhere all at once for some reason. I was a part of residential life. So I was a RA for a year. And so
for people that don't know what an RA is.
Oh, RA is a residential assistant. So it's basically in Nepal like warden co-assistant. So warden has warden, you know. And we usually got the perks of like living there for like free. So that was our compensation. So they would like, we would get meal plans and we could live there on campus and we would like make sure the building is safe and not burning down pretty much, you know. So I also was an RA. I got that opportunity. So I was living on campus and I also was a peer counselor. So I would like talk to like a lot of students if they're going through something tough, like academically, like mentally, like I got like I did a certification like the NAMI suicide prevention program in New Hampshire.
Wait, say that
NAMI, NAMI. And they would like, it was like crucial in the training program as an RA. So we already had that within, like we already took that. So I also was a peer counselor. So I would talk to students sometimes, navigating them through the hardships of college, you know.
Right.
And then I just like did so much. I was also a part of the multicultural club. I was a part of the student senate. And yeah, I just like tried my best to like get my feet wet, see like what these clubs are all about, you know? So that was like 2 years for me.
Question.
Yeah.
What made you want to get involved in so many of these clubs?
I think it was like the fear of not having friends. Like, how will I make friends, you know, if I'm not a part of these clubs? If I'm not going to put myself out there, how are people not going to know I exist? Like, it's so easy to be lost in an ocean, you know, like the world's the ocean. It's like a melting pot. Like, if you're not going to make sure you're seen as a beautiful like dolphin or a whale that like just like flies up against the air, like you're not going to know like who you are. So I think I just wanted to be like seen, so like people knew, and like maybe I can like go meet people. I think it was the whole concept of my personality. I think that's what helped. Like, I wanted to do these things. It wasn't like I was forced to do them. I didn't feel like I had to be a part of these clubs to be like, oh, like I should do this. It's like good for my resume, or like, oh, like maybe this will benefit me in some ways. I did it because I wanted to do them. Like, I was an extrovert. I was like, I want to meet new people. Like, I want to see what this club is all about. Like, what do you guys do? Like, I think I was just like curious, like, and having that curious mindset just like helped me navigate through those like clubs.
What's the top 3?
Yeah,
I'm
top
curious.
3.
I'm actually curious.
I did Student Senate.
Which is
like Student Government Association kind of thing, and we like would look at a lot of like college ko like kuraharu, you know, like college mein you got the you got and like student input bodies, so like we would make like suggestions over campus decisions like overall, and would also like make sure like we like would do budget approvals for like a lot of different clubs on campus. And the top second one was multicultural club, where I could meet like people from all over the world for sure. And the third was it was actually the literature club, the I banne.
Literature club?
Yeah, it was so random, right? Like, I'm a computer science major. What am I doing?
I thought you don't like reading.
I know. I was like really bad at it. There was a literature club because our college released a book every year, and I took so many literature classes when you're starting in college here. Like, you need to take like like general like study classes, and because I did so many literature based classes, I wrote a lot of papers, and I did like poems and papers. My professors advised me to submit my work in this literary magazine book.
Damn,
so I was published. I was published, and I was like, okay, I'll do this then. So I was also a part of that club as well, just be involved and see what I could do, because I was like, my professor was like, you should try it. I was like, I mean, if you think so, maybe I'll just submit and see what happens. And I remember my poem like also got like Editor's Choice Award randomly, and I was like, oh, like maybe my poem was that good, you know, maybe it was good enough. But it was just like little things, you know.
So basically, what I'm hearing is you were the female version of Lakshmi Prasad.
Not really, not really. It could never even be that. But no.
But on a serious note, though.
Yeah.
Because you did all these different clubs, right, and had all these different experiences, was it worth it? Would you recommend someone to be that involved on campus?
Like, in a blink of an eye, yes. Like, definitely. I would ask someone to take the risk and even like go to one meeting of a club and see what it's like. You know, I think it teaches you to talk to new people. Like, I think it can be really intimidating to talk to like a person that you don't even know, like a stranger. But like, I think these clubs like help you realize that everyone's here for the same reason, probably. You know, maybe everyone's also looking in the room and glancing at people to make a friend. Like, you never know, you know. So I would say like just that concept of like knowing that everyone's in the room is as scared as you, like really helps. And it's essential to take risks in life, and even maybe little, like by just going in a room of a club, like of something that maybe interests everyone. So I think that really helped.
Wow,
like, being a part of like different clubs, like randomly.
But that was all community college, right?
Yeah, just 2 years.
About when did you make the transition to Suffolk? How did that transition happen? What was your thought process like? What's going on here?
Oh yeah, I know, it's like a totally different world. I came here about a year ago, so this is going to be my final year. I'm going to be a senior soon, which is already crazy to think about. But yeah, so I transferred here last year because I graduated from the community college, and I was like, I need to transfer all my credits. I want to pursue an undergraduate degree, and I thought,
okay, so you graduated from community college, didn't transfer, but like you graduated and then Wait.
Because you get an associate's degree once you're in community college. So you get an associate's degree.
But for people that don't know, what is it?
It's like a diploma. I would say Nepal ma, when you say diploma gareko or like 2 वर्ष पढेर 3 वर्ष पढेर diploma भएको, त्यस्तै मैले diploma पाएँ 2 वर्षमा, you know. And then I was like, okay, I want to pursue an undergraduate degree. So I was like, okay, like let me just do like try to get into college. And then I applied to a couple, and then Suffolk stood out to me. I was like, okay, like it's in the middle of the city. Look at that, so convenient. Not really. It's pretty much like it is in the middle of the city, so it is pretty difficult, but it's definitely like.
What's so difficult? Explain.
I mean, it's hard to park your car here. But other than that, I think walking has been amazing. I've always like enjoyed walking to school ever since I was young and stuff. Like, thought like it's such like a city campus, so it's like a different feel than the community college I was in. The community college I was in is very like campus environment, very campus town like. But this one's like in a city, like, you know, you see so many like historical things here in the city of Boston. It's one of the oldest cities in America itself. So I think the transition was definitely like a much needed transition to like a different school, a different environment. So I'm enjoying it so far.
Just in terms of difference, I mean, you've been here for a while now, Suffolk.
Yeah,
right?
a
year. So, like, how is Suffolk? Like, you know what I mean? If someone was to apply to Suffolk,
I love that question. I think that question is like so important. How is Suffolk, right?
Yeah, how is it actually? I don't know.
How is it? I think it's a great school for someone that wants, like, I think for schools, you really need to decide on program basis, but not school basis. So personally for me, I'm a CS major, right? I want to go into CS, or I want to go into like anything like IT related, anything that I could fit in my major with. And Suffolk stood out to me because of its location, how it was easy to transfer in. Like it was really friendly with transfer credits, and it gave me a good scholarship. And I think that was my 2 main top tier priorities. But I would suggest like a lot of students to look at their major. Like if you want to get into a law program, Suffolk's amazing. It's known to be the best ones on campus, as we are in the law building itself. Like, hello.
I don't know if you guys can see the whole thing.
But yeah, we're in the law building, and like it's known to have like the best programs of law school. And their Suffolk's business school is also very well known. They have an amazing College of Art and Sciences school, which I'm a part of. So I would definitely encourage anyone that wants to come to the city and see what Suffolk holds. Like, it's definitely a great school. But I would say, instead of like saying like, is the school really good, or like, do you think this is the best option? I think every school you go to, it's what you make out of it. You know, what impact you can create. Like, I was in a community college for 2 years, right? I could have just done nothing, graduated, dipped, right? But I tried my best to do everything, and then I also like was the commencement speaker in the community college, right? So like I was like, okay, like I did something, right? So was that college really good?
That's definitely a big deal.
I was like, was that college really good, right? But I was like, wait, like I guess it was good enough. Like I made an impact for sure. I think it's what you create out of your experiences, not if the experience is good. You know, if you had the best out of it, like if you're doing your best, like that's what matters. So like even for Suffolk, for me, like how is Suffolk? Well, I'm still trying to make it the best. You know, it's been good so far though. Nothing that I can complain about, but definitely like a lot of learning steps that I can definitely like transition into making them like better, or like I can learn from. So I would say it's always a stepping stone for sure.
I shed a tear. All right, so let's move or zoom out from the school life and everything, but let's speak strictly for the past 3 years you've been US, man. Best moment so far.
Damn, that's a tough question.
Loaded question, but best
I love that
question.
Oh, I have an answer right on top of my head. That's so crazy how fast
that
I
fast?
thought. Yeah, I'm like already like, wait, let me answer that. I went to the Eras tour, which is the Taylor Swift tour.
Oh, the Eras tour.
I went to the Eras tour. I think that was my highlight so far. I think the concerts have been my highlight. I've been to so many concerts, and just
I have a feeling a lot of people might not know what the Eras tour is.
So. The Eras tour is just a tour that Taylor Swift decided to do, where she combined all her albums and just like did a 3-hour concert out of the blue. Like, and I was lucky enough to get a pre-sale ticket, and I went to the concerts, and it was pretty like decent prices for even like the ticket, and I was like, I'm gonna go. And it was my first ever concert of my whole entire life, like, and it was the best one. Like, I can't
like
complain.
Nepal Mapani, you never went?
I've never been to a concert in Nepal either.
No way.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going. Like, if I come, I think like when I knew I was coming to America, I definitely had that on my top like bucket list. I was like, I have to go to a Taylor Swift concert if she ever does one. And I'm so grateful that I made it, and I think that was definitely like my best memories and my best experience in the United States so far, which is so funny, so random, like nothing related to academically, but like.
What about the most challenging?
Most challenging
or hard to navigate?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say the most challenging part about America.
It could be anything. It could be school, life, dating. I don't know.
Is dating hard?
We're not talking about stuff like that here, guys.
We're not talking about that. I would say, I think finding the right people. I think life is hard. Because like busy streets, busy lives, that's one thing I mentioned. I say life is definitely hard. Like life is not as easy as it looks. Yeah, you're gonna look at like Facebook, Instagram, and you're gonna say, "Oh my God, she's in US. She's having so much fun." But like,
oh my God, that is so.
I'm like,
whoa,
no,
like, wait, let's debunk this. Let's debunk the Instagram thing. The Instagram thing, please. That is so true.
Like, yeah,
because everybody sees, oh my God, like this is so cool, from the screen, right?
Yeah,
but obviously,
like, wow.
It's a lot of work that you're putting in as well. But
I think it's such a misconception. It's like the biggest misconception there is. Like, Nepal ma bosera, I used to be one of those people that would just scroll on my phone, look at all these people, and be like, "Wow, America, so cool!" Like, right? And I'm here, and I'm like, "You're telling me this is America? Like, this is what you've been posting and making it look so glamorous?" But I think that's such a stereotype. Everyone does that in every part of the world, in whatever lifestyle you have. You're gonna show the best parts of it.
Right.
I personally just thought it was gonna be like that, just like everyone else, and I realized how much
expectations and reality.
Yeah, like expectations and reality. Like reality doesn't look the same. Reality looks the same when you view. Like it's all about perspective at the end of the day. Like if I'm going to a nice restaurant to like have a nice like plate of momo, like people are gonna look at, oh wow, like she's just going out every day to get that plate of momo. But I'm like, yeah, I've been saving money for that momo though. Like that is what I deserve. One thing I think was like the biggest like not challenge, I would say the biggest realization was like when I worked so much on campus, like, and I did my best to be involved like during my first freshman year and sophomore year of college, which are the first 2 years. I realized how I was burning myself out. And I didn't know burnout was real. Like burnout is real. Like people get tired, even if when they like you can spread yourself out too thin. Like you can actually like be tired of doing something. So I basically burnt myself out to the point that I was like so busy, and I realized that busy streets, busy lives was like real. It's like actually a real thing. So I was like, like I actually feel like I've been like out and about everywhere, and it's been such a challenge to like find where I want to go, just like in general, I would say.
The other point that you made, Suruma, that finding the right people is hard. What about that?
Finding the right people is hard, Banale. Like finding the right people to socialize with, finding the right people to put your environment in, like put yourself like, around with, I would say. Like, you'll meet all kinds of people in your life. You'll meet like 10 roads that you can take, and you need to know what's the right one. Like you need to know you can get to a path where you can totally like divert yourself from your life. You can like party all night, it's out there. Like
I thought you were pointing at someone.
That's the club right there. No, like it's out there, all these opportunities are out there, and you need to know what's the right one. Like all these people are out there. Like some people might talk to you about, hey, like where are we gonna get drinks tonight? But some people might talk about, hey, like where are you thinking about going? Like what do you want to do? Like what are your interests? Like what do you want to make life out of? So I think associating yourself with the right people is a very important thing in America, and I think that's like really important to navigate and learn and meet people and like notice like intentions, and that's just I think an important learning step that everyone will come across.
Emotional.
Meeting the right people.
Well, I mean, we're closing in towards the end of the podcast, so I only have 2 more questions.
Perfect.
And I feel like you've already given or dropped a good amount of gems. But anyways.
Okay.
So for the incoming students,
right,
or students that might be in their freshman or sophomore year of school, what's 1 or 2 pieces of advice you'd probably give them?
That life is not limited to the things that you're known of. Sometimes you don't know everything, and it's okay, but there's a whole world out there that you can just Google, and it's so easy. Like, information is out there, and it's so easily accessible that you shouldn't hesitate in like making that Google search to know more. Like, you can fill that brain up with so much information. You can know where you want to go. There's so many majors out there that we feel like we're limited to just because it's out of reach, but everything is like just like a touch away from our phones, you know? And I think I wish, like, when I was younger, like, I knew that there are so many possibilities out there that I could definitely learn, or I could definitely understand more about, and it's just so close to me, but I never like took the chance to do it. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, let me flip the script now.
Okay.
If you were to go back in time and change something or do something differently, what would it be?
I think
Nepal might. Yeah, I see. One thing you'd do differently.
One thing I would do differently.
I mean, while you think of it, I'm gonna say, please do not give me a diplomatic answer and say, you know what?
I think I've done great. Just kidding. No. There's definitely things that, people always ask this question because there's definitely things that you wish you did better, right? I think one thing I wish I did better was I wish I applied to a lot of schools during my transfer year. Because I only applied to a couple. Like, I think I limited myself because of how busy I was. I wish I took the time to apply to more, because coming to a city like Boston, you realize how many schools are out there. Like, it's like Massachusetts is known for being the best states in the United States to have like the best educational resources. If there was one thing I would go back in time and do, is make sure I use the best of the limited time I had to like apply to more schools and get into more things and make, I don't know, just like letting opportunity come in like your way. That's why when I made that advice, I said it's a Google search away, right? And making that Google search can feel just like really hard sometimes. And I think that's one thing that everyone can struggle with. And if I had to go back in time, I would make more Google searches in life. Over
the chat GPT.
I'm just gonna chat GPT Google search. Like, I don't know, this other day, I searched up the stupidest things. I searched up such stupid things. I was in my phone and I was like, how are pearls made? Because like, there's so many things you don't know, and it's always okay. Like, it's always out there, and it's like, I think having a curious mind helps like growth in someone's life. But
that's some good insights.
I think. Do you know how pearls are made?
Well, I'm gonna Google that now.
You gotta know.
But that was pretty much the end of the podcast, But you know how Coffee with Karan works? Well, this is Coffee with Shrey, because we're gonna have a rapid fire round.
I don't like this already.
It's gonna be like a couple, maybe like 6 to 7, maybe 7 to 8 quick questions.
Okay, you went 6 to 7 to 8.
Yes, 8 questions.
Give me
8
one.
Questions.
Okay.
First question: best Nepali restaurant in Boston?
Zuzumomo.
One thing you miss the most about Nepal?
Mount Everest. Bro, like, I just miss mountains. Like, mountain ranges.
Third question: one food you love but can't find in the US?
Laughing.
I forgot who said that, but like, yeah, that's
I miss laughing so much.
Okay, fourth question: favorite Nepali festival to celebrate in the US?
Dosai. Still Dosai.
Why?
I just think it's like roots back to like meeting so many people and like getting so many blessings that you never know when you're gonna get next.
So if your friends from Nepal or family just visit you, Boston, what's the first place you take them to?
I would take them to Kava. I just think like they need to try Kava. Kava's great. Like, I'm obsessed with Kava. It's like They need to try kava after that long flight. Get some kava in your system.
All right, best Nepali song for homesick days.
Nepali song?
Yeah.
Bordali is great. Bordali is amazing these days. I like Bordali.
All right, so we have 2 more questions. First Nepali word or phrase you teach your friends. No, not Nepali friends, besides namaste.
Oh, okay. I say Subharatri. I've taught that to a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, whenever I meet someone, they're like, okay, that's like, so how do you say goodbye or good night? It's Subharatri, and they're like, how do I say that? And I think I've taught like Kripaya too. Kripaya and Subharatri, which is like one of the hardest Nepali words.
That's actually a very unique word that I've never heard anyone teach that up.
It's too formal, but like when someone says, how do you say good night? I'm like, you just say good night, but then I'm like, actually you say Subharatri, like if you want to teach them the Nepali way, so just Subharatri.
Are you ready for the last question, Abba? One thing about Boston life that every Nepali person should know about.
One thing about Boston life?
Yeah. Or one thing in Boston.
That everyone should know about?
Every Nepali person should know
Every
about.
Nepali person. Why is that question so specific?
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait, let me think about this. I know it's rapid fire, but I want to think about this. I would say how Boston Commons. Like we're right next to the Commons. That's all I can think about. Boston Commons is an amazing park that you can take anyone to, and you can just like sunbathe for no reason. So like it's amazing. I think one thing you should know about Boston is how like walking can be your best sport. And it's beautiful here. And I love it.
True.
Walking
and biking.
What? I don't know how to bike. So I'm not gonna say that, but walking, definitely. Walking is your best sport, and Boston is filled with city, but there's also amazing like parks and trails that you can go to. Like maybe not like New Hampshire, but like definitely something that you can walk around to. So let's say that.
Wow.
Learn how to walk.
All right, so that was the end of the episode, guys, with Spriha. If you enjoyed it and want more guests like her to come and share their insights and stories, please
like, comment, and subscribe to this channel.